Hi everyone and welcome to Västra Hamnen Market Focus. Today we're going to talk about aXichem, a company well known for its two products, aXichem, used in animal health, and aXivite, found in the dietary supplements. Our focus today will be on aXivite, and we will be cover the product, the market, and the potential that lies ahead. And with me today to speak more about this, I'm joined by the company's Chief and Sales and Marketing Officer, Lucas Altepost. Welcome, nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's kick off, Lucas. Can you start to tell us more about yourself and your background?
Perfect. So I am actually originally Swiss. I studied at the University of Lausanne in Switzerland. I have a bachelor degree in business. And I've been working in the last 25 years in the nutrition business as executive in business development and sales, introducing innovation in this sector. So I've been focusing in the beginning of my career on very novel ingredient like at that time omega-3 concentrate. I've been working on protein, always focusing on transforming a science story into an appealing business-to-business nutrition story.
And what led you to aXichem?
I've been working first in several big companies in nutrition, and then I had my own consultancy company. So I work actually in the beginning as a consultant for sales and business development for aXichem. That was the start.
And looking at the product and start from there, how does aXivite differentiate in the dietary supplements market?
To try to make it easy to understand from somebody that has not a lot knowledge in nutrition, is an ingredient that try to solve a problem of a similar ingredient that are present in the market. So the similar ingredient is capsaicin, but with phenylcapsaicin we have a product what reduce the pungency, because that is a big problem for capsaicin in general. So has a problem that a lot of advantages in terms of health, but the pungency is a limit. And phenylcapsaicin reduced drastically this burn. And then on top of that, we need less. It's much more bioavailable. So it means you need a lower dosage to actually have the efficacy, the health efficacy we are selling.
I see. And are there any competitors in the market?
So in the phenylcapsaicin molecule, which we have developed, we actually are the only one. We're very well protected in that segment. But of course, in the capsaicin, there are several producers. And I would say that one distinguishes itself to be our competitor is Capsimax. It's an Indian company called OmniActive.
And you said that you are protected, but are you protected in terms of patents?
Definitely, and that's one of the key differentiation that we have compared to competitors. And not only competitors, but is in industry, it's very difficult to make you unique in the sense that most of the time are commodity that you use, right? So then is the process of production and so on and so forth that can make you unique. But here we have developed this molecule from scratch. So, and we have a very good portfolio of patent to protect this product. Patent at level of synthesis of the product, so production, and patent on the application part.
And we have seen that aXivite has delivered strong margins so far. What factors do you think support or to even improve those margins?
Yeah, one of the key factors is the patent that we have. It means that we are very alone. Nobody can copy this product. So we can really, the producer, once they have decided what we're doing, they go for us and they maintain our product. Then the other part that actually is crucial is the science and the clinical trial that we have. So there is no pressure for our margin. We have a very good margin so far.
And if we are looking at the market for the dietary supplements, according to you, what is the biggest challenge when introducing a new ingredient in the market?
It's a very technical product, and it's a business-to-business product. So you need to convey a message that sometimes is complicated. So you need to summarize that message and make a story out of it, because this is the tool that your client will use for the consumer. And so to transfer all that knowledge through the business-to-business client and then arrive at the consumer, that's the challenge. You need to condense it and make it simple.
And can you explain which market does aXivite target?
Yeah, we are working in weight loss, weight management as a dietary supplement. So it's not a pharmaceutical, it's simply a help to have a good and healthy weight. We're working also for sport nutrition in everything that help the performance of the athlete, and also in gut and metabolic health.
And the market is expected to grow at 10% during the coming years, and we estimate that you will grow faster than the market. But what are your projections?
Definitely, we will grow faster than the market. You know, the market is projected at 10%. Of course, it's a market that this has been developing so far and in the last 10 years like this, but we are a new product. We have a much higher expectation to reach, to grow more than 10% every year, definitely.
And growth often means a higher or a bigger sales organization. What's your thought about that?
We already been working on, since we see the growth now of our revenue, we have been working on changing in fact the distribution that we have of our product, and actually make it more efficient. So we moved from a distribution network to an agent model in some market. For example, in the US market, we have moved to an agent model so that we have direct contact with the clients, even with the help of the agent. And also we want to grow organically internally, so we are looking to recruit key account manager that will help actually also in the European market.
And if we are talking about the macro, what's your thought about the impact due to the current uncertainties around trade policies that maybe have an effect on your production of aXivite and the logistics?
I think we have actually already proved that we have anticipated the problem of this tariff that we see, especially with the US market, and also changing this into an agent model. It helped us to have actually to minimize the impact of tariffs that we have seen of 10% now so far.
Now let's talk about aXivite TR, a new formulation of aXivite that you released a couple of months ago. What is the difference between this and the previous one, according to you?
The previous one, the aXivite Classic, was done to be used in capsules and in tablet. So which means that the little pungencies that still remain in phenylcapsaicin is covered in this capsule form. So you don't feel anything, you have no sensation of pungency. But the market, and specifically for sport nutrition, for this shake that you drink before going to training, for example, that are a big portion of the market in performance, you need also a powder form that can be mixed in a shake. So this is TR, target release, because it's released in the stomach to improve your performance, but has no release in the mouth. So it means that you can shake it in your ready-to-mix drink, and with your protein and so on, and just drinking without feeling any pungency. So we working still together with our clients to tweak the flavor, but it's a very, very good new product, and I think it will increase our market share in sport performance.
Maybe I need it for my football
Fantastic,
career.
You have to try, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And I was wondering, how will this new aXivite TR enhance your opportunities in the market?
Because we're tapping a part of the market we have untouched, and ready to mix is a big one. You can think that for performance you have capsule, but it's still much smaller than the ready to mix. It's a part that performance is probably the biggest one, and you have even the ready to drink part, which this application will not solve. We will have to develop even more product for the ready to drink, so the stable product that are already completely soluble. So ready to mix is a very important application for aXivite.
And you published the results from the recent study. Yep. With aXivite investigating the effect in Crossfit. Could you say and tell us more about that?
It's a very important part of our development in science because so far in sport performance we touched, I would say, the bodybuilding market where people want to perform on squat and increase the muscle mass. Also, we have done some aerobic performance trial with good results, and now we have received the first good results of also on CrossFit. And CrossFit is a very popular growing sport. And the interesting part that this sport is very popular for women as well. And this trial have 50 athletes, 25 women and 25 men, which have actually had very good results in this trial. So it will enlarge also the market, this untapped market for CrossFit.
Interesting. And how do the results translate into commercial opportunities for aXichem?
New product launch, new application for exactly that market.
A common question from your shareholders used to be about Iote, the agreement you signed during 2022. Can you just tell us how has that collaboration turned out?
Yeah, so Iote is a very large company in weight loss with the brand hydroxycut that is distributed in mass market, so which means it's really in retail shop, in pharmacy and Target and Walmart. So this is a mass market, a classical market for this application, and also with Muscletech, that is quite one of the first well-known brand in sport performance. It's these were new products that have done a very good job in enhancing what we were talking about, the knowledge of the product and the awareness. We were the first time out in the market, and to start with a producer that very well known, it put a flag and to all the other producer. We are selling to everybody, and this was the first entrance. It hasn't not performed as good as we wanted in terms of revenue, but it's growing, steady growing, and together with other products like Triquetra, for example, it remains a very important client in our assortment for the US market.
Promising. So to just sum up, Lucas, what are the key factors that you think will improve the long-term success of aXivite?
Yeah, we have to continue with the same line of development in clinical trial. Probably the most important that we have to reaffirm ourselves good results in is weight loss down the line. The objective long term for the clinical trial are in Europe one day to also have a claim for aXivite. We can use already sort of claim in the US market because it's a completely different market in terms of you need only the clinical trial and you prove through clinical trial. When in EFSA, for example, you need really to have an application for claims. So continuing in that development of science. And then the second point, I guess, that is continue also to have application that enlarge the market. So one example was target release with TR, but we need to develop also something for ready to drink. So that's, I think, our key factors, the first two key factors. And then long term, medium, long term, when we have established very well these two markets, start also to open Asia and South America.
There seems to be a lot of hope for aXivite, Lucas.
Definitely, and a lot of work.
I see. But thank you for joining today.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
We will keep focused on aXivite and specifically the development in the US. We will now talk to Tim Avila, aXichem's business development partner in the US. It's pretty early in the morning, but I think we have Tim with us directly from his car. Welcome, Tim. Nice to have you here.
Thank you, Tobias. Nice to be here.
It's sunny weather in Malmo. Where exactly are you?
So I'm headquartered in California, right between Los Angeles and San Diego, in a city called Dana Point, California.
And to start off, Tim, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. Thank you. I've been in the dietary supplement and related health food space for about 33 years. I started part-time in around the industry in 1990, but then full-time in 1992 at a company called Metagenics, which was a dietary supplement and medical food company focused primarily on practitioners, so medical doctors and other healing arts professionals. They also had health food store brands and sports nutrition brands. So I was there for about 5 years and then started the consultancy that I have now, which is Systems Bioscience Inc. And I'm the founder and president of that. And so I've been a consultant ever since in areas related to innovation and product development, as well as business and venture development. So been doing that for quite some time now in the industry.
And what is your role at aXichem?
So I've been an advisor to aXichem on the aXivite project for a number of years now, since almost the beginning. I had a previous relationship with Lucas on other projects. So Lucas and I have known each other for close to 15 years. And so once they started looking to commercialize this very novel ingredient, then I've been an advisor on how to prepare and engineer the market and the positioning, translating the science with the market opportunity.
And if we go into the market and talk about the US, I mean, it's an important market for aXivite. And I was wondering, can you just give us an introduction and describe the market in the US?
Sure. The US market is the most vibrant and lucrative market globally in the nutrition business. The nutrition business is defined by Nutrition Business Journal as dietary supplements, natural and organic foods, and then also personal care and other items that are more natural and organic. So within that space, the dietary supplement market is around $70 billion, with the United States leading that one. So it's a focus of almost all companies to try to make their way into the US market. It's a very vibrant market. It's very fast moving and quite large.
And speaking about that, how has the market for the dietary supplement changed over the past few years?
Well, we have a very clear line of demarcation between pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So leading up to the pandemic, the growth was more modest. And then there was a huge explosion during COVID, which created some challenges of its own with supply chain and logistics and other things. And so the demand was never entirely satisfied because it was so large. But after that, in the post-pandemic recovery period, the market has been quite fragmented. So it took a while for the supply chain systems to rebound. And we've now started to see a more normalized growth pattern in the United States market. Having said that, during the pandemic, there was a lot of companies that were born because they were chasing the opportunity. And then we are seeing a culling or a falling out of those businesses as some of them are not able to access capital or the demand is just not there like it was. Many of these companies are direct to consumer, and the dynamics of the direct to consumer market has changed. It's more expensive to get customers, and it is also more challenging to innovate. So that's been the dynamic more recently.
And in relation to that, do you see any trend in the market?
Yes. So the trends in the market are that things that are well established, like creatine monohydrate and other ingredients that have had quite a long history, are being reborn and revitalized and are getting actually higher sales trajectories. So you have that. And then you do have quite a flood of innovative new ingredients like aXivite. So this is creating a unique situation where brands are struggling in some cases to identify exactly where they should be in that growth opportunity mix. So it's taking some bit longer to react to innovation, to respond to product development projects and things like that. So we've seen a little bit of a slowing in the pace of those.
And how do you position, given the trends you're talking about, aXivite in the market?
Yeah, so I think the positioning for aXivite is a little bit of the benefits of both worlds. So capsaicin is like creatine or other things that have been well established, but it's actually a proprietary molecule and the best of new to the world and innovation. So we're seeing good response to that as a concept. And I think we can continue to implement that in the US market moving forward.
Interesting. And where do you usually meet your customers, Tim?
So again, pre-pandemic, there were pretty typical methods, which would be trade shows and other things, personal history, having a relationship, working with people in the past. Now we see that the trade shows and things are coming back. So those are more successful in terms of meeting people, but digital means, so things like LinkedIn and other social media, even tracking down brands via TikTok and Instagram. So we're seeing a lot of that driven by the internet.
And looking at the competitors, I was talking to Lucas of some of them, but who is, according to you, who is your main competitor in the US?
Yeah, it's quite clearly OmniActive with their Capsamax product, which has been in the market for some time. So they are a more well-established historical competitor.
I see. And what do they offer that aXivite isn't?
Well, I think the differences are that they kind of align with that historical chili pepper extract, the old capsicum market. And so they have that entrenched, incumbent position in the marketplace. But technologically or economically, they really don't have the advantages that aXivite has. So I think it's more of a situation of just getting the brand owners and the product development people that we work with to realize that just because they've been around for quite some time does not mean that that is the best option. And there are some changes and a little bit of cracks in their portfolio, so they're not really supporting this brand and product as much as they were. So that's an open opportunity for aXivite.
And in your view, what potential do you see in aXivite moving forward?
Well, if we look at the overarching opportunity within obesity, metabolic syndrome, fat loss, or adiposity, aXivite has a tremendous opportunity to kind of position itself, away from the drugs and the GLP-1 agonists, and actually look at something that is pro gut health and also pro muscle while you are losing or reducing body fat. So it's not just about reducing calories, it's an opportunity to show people that you want to retain or even increase muscle, including the ability to have sports performance while you're reducing body fat and improving your metabolism. So I think that is the positioning that we've been approaching here in the US market and in other markets, because those are also responding to that same idea.
Mm. And half of 2025 has soon passed. What is your focus during the rest of the year?
So I think we understand that aXivite has three very unique consumer relevant benefits, but looking at an ergogenic muscle performance, sports performance benefit is one of the things that we've been focused on, because we want to establish that in that trail that we're seeing from creatine or other things that are muscle and sports performance oriented, all the while still maintaining, the opportunity for gut health and weight loss and fat loss. So there are some plans in the works for clinical studies and other things to continue to prioritize the muscle health for this year, but in 2026 to then still be even stronger on gut health and fat loss, weight loss.
There is obviously a lot going on for aXichem in the US. Nice to talk to you, Tim. Thank you for joining today.
Thank you, Tobias. Happy to be here. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And that's what's everything for today. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel so you don't miss our next update. Thank you.